Meanwhile, climate activists across Europe are calling on leaders meeting at COP28 to agree on firm commitments to cut fossil fuels use. From Berlin, DD India's Trent Murray reports.
Across Germany, the colour orange has become a symbol of protest, synonymous with green causes. Climate activists from the group known as Last Generation creating headlines as they disrupt traffic, vandalise public monuments and get into heated exchanges with members of the public. It's leading to a national conversation about whether this type of action is helping or hindering the climate action cause.
I think their actions are highly problematic, as climate protection is the central challenge of this century.
This group must be stopped now. In the end, they want a different society, the end of the market economy, the end of growth.
They are making this a radical, niche issue and causing the centre of society to completely lose its understanding of what climate protection is all about.
Fight for climate justice!
But just a few hundred metres from the German parliament, protesters from the group gathered to coincide with COP28, making no apologies for their acts of civil disobedience.
For me, this little blockades on streets on the rush hour is not a very problem for me, because I drive by bike most of the time to work.
We have to wake up, and the climate is in an emergency status.
Some critics would say, look, that type of action is maybe a hindrance. It doesn't help the cause, it just makes people angry. I mean, how do you respond to people that have that argument with you?
If you are irritating people, that's fine with me, because when you irritate people, then something is happening. There's not going to be a transformation with people when they are comfortable, so we have to be very annoying.
Well, as the world meets in Dubai for COP28, many of the protesters here say they are simply not confident that there will be positive outcomes from that meeting for the climate change cause. They are instead saying it is the power of people and not politicians that will solve the climate crisis.
But whether groups like these are bringing people with them remains up for debate. A recent poll revealing that the vast majority of Germans believe that Last Generation's actions go too far.
The polls say we have 4 out of 5 Germans who say they don't like these kind of protests. On the other hand, if you ask them whether they think it's legitimate to engage in these kind of protests when you connect it to the climate crisis and to the inactiveness of the government, half of Germans would say, yeah, it's legitimate. Everyone in our society needs to ask themselves the question, what am I doing right now? Am I just a bystander, or do I take action?
Despite pushback, groups like these say they're not going anywhere, and they continue to attract new members from a cross-section of society. Doctors, scientists, even religious groups. They all say they're fighting for the next generation. And they hope that as gas-guzzling countries gather in the Gulf, they will all agree to sing from the same song sheet when it comes to making the tough calls on cutting emissions. Trent Murray for DD India, Berlin.
All right, and DD India correspondent Vinod Kumar joins me